What is happening, everyone? Welcome back to another episode of Setup Wars. I got a banger for you today, so sit back and relax and let the Setup Wars begin. Did you know online thieves are estimated to make over $233 million this holiday season? It's the scammers' prime time as most of us spend more time online. Don't let scams and financial disasters ruin your life with Guardio. The Guardio tool will protect you automatically by blocking fake shopping sites and phishing attempts to steal your sensitive information. For only $9.99 a month, you guys can protect yourself and 4 other family members. To get Guardio now, visit the link down below. Kicking off the episode is a very clean black and yellow setup by Kirin, who's an active member on my server and a dedicated patron as well. We don't get that many black and yellow setups on the show, to be honest, and frankly I think it's a very underrated color scheme. Hell, even his dogs are matching the color scheme of the setup. Actually, his original setup submission had way more yellow in there, and personally I do like the style of it much better than its current setup. I love the white contrast from the shelves, the paintings, everything was more symmetrical. I mean, this was just more my style. Anyways, he's an accountant from Colorado who likes to game and do photo editing on his spare time, and it did take him a full year and a half to get the setup to this point. Simple and clean is how he likes it. Everything is done on a single 32-inch 4K monitor from Philips that he mounted to his sit and stand desk with incredible cable management. I love that he added the raceway against the edge of the desk. This allows him to channel all the cables across the desk much easier while keeping the bottom looking cleaner. Moving on to peripherals, he's rocking a modded Kirin K4 that he paired with an MX Master 2S, but he does have several other mice that he switches to for gaming. My favorite thing from his last setup were the custom-made speaker stands. I think just the combination of the white shelves with the Govi light bar in the back was pretty cool. I haven't seen that before on the show. But it does look like he ditched the light bar and the shelves altogether and kept the black cube underneath as stands. He doesn't have a dedicated mic setup, but he does have 2 sets of headphones that he switches between, the Sennheiser Momentums and a pair of modified Samsungs with custom pads. Finally powering the setup is a custom anti-RGB build featuring the Ryzen 5 5600X and an RX 5700 XT. While I do prefer his previous symmetrical layout a lot better, I do understand everyone has their own preference and style. It's still a very clean, well executed setup. Thank you, Kirin, for sharing this with us, and thank you so much for the support on the channel. Coming up next is a pretty sweet triple monitor setup by Brandon, who's a Minecraft marketplace game developer from Las Vegas. It took him 5 years to get the setup to this point for gaming, streaming, video editing, and studying. Just look at the placement of the PC. You'll love to see it. Perfectly centered right above the setup on a wall shelf with 2 raceways covering the cables going down into the bottom of the desk and into a few racks. This is hands down the easiest way of mounting your PC to the wall and probably the safest as well. Not to mention how easy it is going to be to upgrade parts, since all you have to do is disconnect the cables and bring down the PC. I do have 2 recommendations though. The first one is to bring down your speakers and put them on your desk. They don't really do anything up there. If you're worried about cable length, just pick up extensions. How do you think I built my setup? Literally 99% of the cables in here were either extensions or I replaced the original cable with just longer cables. Number 2 isn't actually that important, but I would have painted the raceways the same color of your wall so that they blended much better. But other than that, I do love the layout of this setup. He's got triple 24-inch 240Hz monitors mounted against the ECBAC and countertop, because why not? And below that we got the Hayabusa 60% paired with a Razer Death Adder V2 Pro with the TechSource Camel Black mouse pad. Very nice choice, by the way. Brandon also likes to stream on his spare time, and he's got a pretty sweet streaming setup as well. We got a ring light up top next to his Canon DSLR, and for audio he's using the Arctis 7s for output and the Shure SM7B for input in combination with the Go XLR and Stream Deck XL. It could use a bit more personalizing, but you have a solid foundation to build upon. Thank you, Brandon, for sharing this with us. Coming in at number 3 is our setup spotlight of the episode. At first impressions, it looks like a pretty badass dual PC setup, but then when you begin to dissect it, you start to realize a few things. To start off, let's look at the laptop setup on the left. The location seems a bit odd for a laptop that's actively used. Also, you trust that water bottle a little bit too much for it to be that close to your electronics. I don't know if it's on a desk mount already, but if it's not, I would recommend picking one up so that you can always adjust the position for convenience. It's definitely nice to see that he flipped the top monitor upside down to minimize the bezels between both displays, and there is an extra tablet on the top of the laptop that's used for Spotify. Moving on to peripherals, we got a 60% keyboard with a Logitech G502 mouse, and then for audio, we do have a set of Samsung speakers with 2 pairs of headsets. The SteelSeries Arctis 3s are mostly what he uses for gaming with the Shure SM58 mic. Even while the cables are managed underneath the desk, the damages to the wall still caught my eye. I would definitely try and patch those up when you can, especially if it's a part of your home. You always want to take good care of where you live. The right side of the setup does seem a bit more cluttered. You got your microphone, DAC and amp, and a few other miscellaneous items taking up space. I would obviously try and store smaller items into your drawers, and I would even move your DAC underneath the ultralight if you keep it flat on the desk. It just looks weird tucked away in the corner right next to your PC. Which, by the way, is a pretty dope custom build. It's got a 9900K with 32 gigs of RAM and a Gigabyte RTX 3070 Ti. One thing that can be improved is the organization of the setup. You got a lot going on here with no actual pattern, not to mention the random black acoustic panels on the wall that don't really contribute to anything. It looks very forced. I think just simply rearranging a few things would help clean up your setup quite a bit, and also replacing the acoustic panels on the wall with something with more meaning, I would say, would also help improve the overall look. But nonetheless, thank you so much for entering. Coming in number 4 is Chase with his gorgeous all-white gaming setup with an interesting monitor layout. So it took him 6 months to build a setup for gaming, editing, and schoolwork. The setup is built on an IKEA countertop with 2 Alex units and 4 capital legs for spacing. Looks like all 3 monitors are mounted against the wall. The left 2 are used for gaming and editing, while the 29-inch ultrawide and vertical mode is for browsing Discord and multitasking. I do admire the dedication to the all-white theme by going with a custom LK67 keyboard, a Vancer wireless mouse, and a Heister mouse pad, but I feel like the black boom arm holding your Yeti goes against what you're trying to achieve here. In case you missed it, they do have a white version of the Yeti and a nice white boom arm that will look better in your setup. I'll tell you what, just because I care about your color scheme so much, I want to offer you a trade, okay? I'm going to send you a brand new Blue Yeti whiteout microphone with a matching white boom arm to complement your setup's color scheme. In exchange, you're gonna send me your current microphone and boom arm so I can do a giveaway on my Discord server. If you're interested, hit me up on Discord. The setup does seem very minimal. It doesn't have any speakers, but it does use the Logitech G333 headset for the primary source. Adding a pegboard on the wall was a very nice way to use up that extra space in exchange for some utility while contributing to the setup's look at the same time. Cables under the desk are managed very well, but what in Homer Simpson's butt crack is this, my guy? It literally looks like that one meme from Simpsons. The problem here is that you have all the cables plugging into the back of the monitors. The best way would have been to route all the cables behind the vertical monitor and hide them behind the right Alex unit. Same thing with your PC, it's a bit unbalanced. You have a 9700K paired with a custom painted 980 Ti. I think the budget of this setup is a bit unbalanced. I feel like you spend too much time and money on your monitors and you kind of neglected the PC parts, because now your PC doesn't have enough power to push the pixels or even bring you a better gaming experience. If you do decide to accept the mic trade and eventually upgrade your setup, feel free to submit again. Thank you, Chase, for entering. This next setup is all work and no play, because Kieran is too busy grinding, and honestly, that's understandable. I can totally relate. Once you're in 6th gear and you build up that momentum, you don't want to stop, even if it's for gaming for a couple hours. So this is Kieran's 3rd time on the show. He was first featured back in episode 251, Couples Edition, with his wife and son, but decided to move out of the bedroom and build his very own private setup in his bedroom for episode 298. But then 4 months later, decided to upgrade once again. This guy upgrades his setup more than me. I do love the fact that he stuck to the super cozy vibes. That's one of the things that really attracted me to this setup in the first place. We still got the ultrawide monitor with the riser underneath and his portable monitor, but it does look like it's blocking off a portion of the ultrawide. In the last setup, the ultrawide was taller, so it didn't end up getting blocked off. So I do recommend lifting the monitor up a little bit to maximize the screen real estate. Looks like he's still rocking the RK987 keyboard with a G703 mouse, but he did upgrade his audio gear. He got some big boy speakers and picked up a nice boom arm for his new Rode microphone. We got the same PC specs and the same decoration for the most part, with very minimal RGB lighting and symmetry. To be honest, I do agree with the upgrade path that you've chosen. It looks more like a complete setup than before, and you still manage to maintain that super clean look and cozy vibes. If you ask me, Kieran, you finally managed to check off all the criteria on your third submission to Setup Wars, and for that reason, I'm awarding you the 51st seal of approval. So congratulations. If you're watching this video, toss an email or hit me up on Discord to claim your plaque and one free TechSource mousepad of your choice. Let me know which of these setups was your absolute favorite from today's video. As always, if you guys are enjoying Setup Wars, do let me know by tossing a like, and I'll see you guys very soon in the next one.